Hello, it's good to see you. Today we are going to read about flooring, tools, and materials. I'm just going to go over some things like general purpose tools and some other things. And this is all about flooring. The choices you make in both materials and installation tools will have a significant impact on how well the flooring you install will hold up over time. You can purchase the highest quality flooring available, but if it's not installed properly, it will rapidly degrade. Likewise, low quality flooring, even if installed properly, won't hold up for long either. In this chapter, I'll take you through the tools you'll need to install each type of flooring and provide advice on what to look for when you're shopping for flooring. The tools for installing flooring vary greatly from one flooring material to the other. Some materials, like resilient tile, require very few, while others, like ceramic tile and carpeting, need odd-named tools like a grout float or a knee kicker. I'll start by going over the general purpose tools you'll need for almost any flooring job. Then on to specialized tools for each of the major flooring types. Carpet and ceramic tile on page 18, hardwood and laminate flooring on page 19, and resilient, vinyl, and parquet tile on page 20. The best advice I can give you regarding selecting flooring materials is to go to a flooring supplier or contractor and chat with them about choices and pricing. Many of these folks will let you take home their sample boards overnight to help make your decision easier. Many home centers now offer small sample squares of flooring, particularly laminate and resilient flooring, and carpeting for less than $1 a piece. You can usually purchase similarly inexpensive individual vinyl or ceramic tiles. These can help you know that making a decision. This will help you when you know that making a decision will take you a while. Once you've selected a material, check with your flooring contact about the correct adhesive and/or seam sealers to use. Although you'll likely pay a bit more for the materials from them, you're sure to get quality products that are designed to work together with your flooring material. So these are some of the general purpose tools. Demolition. Many of the flooring jobs you'll tackle will require some demolition work. That is, tearing out old flooring, underlayment, or a subfloor. Possibly even removing cabinets or a small section of a wall. You'll find the following tools useful for this type of work, from left to right. Screwdrivers for general dismantling, a pry bar for pulling out stubborn boards and fixtures, a cold chisel or set of inexpensive chisels for chopping out holes in walls or flooring, and a ball peen or claw hammer. Measuring and layout. One of the most critical steps in any flooring job is measuring and laying out the grid or starting point. Measuring and layout are also used extensively to ensure that the new flooring is cut to fit properly. The tools shown should be in every homeowner's toolbox. A 3-foot and torpedo level, a 25-foot tape measure, a folding rule for short, accurate measurements, a combination square to check for right angles and for general layout, a chalk line for striking long layout lines, a compass to draw circles, a framing square to check for perfect right angles, and a contour gauge for laying out odd shapes. Power tools. Power tools can make quick work of many of the tedious tasks associated with installing flooring. Clockwise from top left. A right angle drill for drilling in tight spots, a cordless drill with a 3/8-inch chuck for small holes, a saber saw for cutting access holes, an electric drill with a 1/2-inch chuck for large diameter holes, a reciprocating saw for demolition work, and a cordless trim saw for straight square cuts. Specialty tools. Carpet. Installing carpet requires quite a few tools. To install the padding, you'll need a staple gun, which is item A, right here, and a sharp utility knife. Although you can cut some carpet with a utility knife, there are a couple of specialty tools designed just for this purpose. A row cutting knife cuts between the rows of loop pile carpeting. You may also want to rent an edge trimmer, not shown, for making the final cut around the perimeter of a room. Stretching and seaming carpet is where you'll come across some odd and very specialized tools. So specialized and expensive that you won't find them at a hardware store or home center. Instead, you'll need to rent them from a rental center. A knee kicker, item D, is used to adjust the position of the carpeting on the floor. A power stretcher, E, with its long extensions, allows you to stretch the carpet across a room. And a seaming iron, F, heats hot melt seam tape so you can join two pieces of carpeting. See Chapter 4 for more on installing carpeting. Ceramic tile. There are 3 distinct sets of specialized tools that you'll need to install ceramic tile. Tile cutting tools, mortar tools, and grout tools. The type of tile you're installing and the obstacles you'll need to go around will determine what type of cutting tools you'll need. Straight lines are easily cut and snapped on smooth glazed tiles with a tile cutter, which is item A. A motorized tile cutter, B, allows you to cut thick or rough textured tiles with ease. You can cut odd-shaped tiles with a rod saw, which is item C, or by removing small bits at a time with a tile nipper, which is item D down here. Tiles are affixed to the floor with thin set mortar. You'll find that a mixing attachment for your electric drill, not shown, will make this task easier. The mortar is applied to the floor with a notched trowel, which is item E, with the notches ranging in size from 1/8 of an inch to 3/8 of an inch. The grout float, item F, is used to apply grout, and a sponge, G, wipes off the grout after it's dried to a haze. Finally, a grout saw, H, allows you to remove dried grout for repairs, and a rubber mallet, I, is the best way to set or bed a tile in the thin set mortar. For more information on installing ceramic tile, see Chapter 5. Hardwood strip flooring. Installing hardwood flooring requires only a couple of specialized tools: a miter box or power miter saw and a flooring nailer. In addition to these, you'll need some ordinary hand tools: a wood chisel, A, for trimming boards and chopping out sections when doing repairs; a claw hammer, B, for the face nailing and for installing trim, or you can use an air-powered finish nailer if you have one; a nail set, C, for countersinking the heads of nails below the surface of the boards or trim; and a block plane, D, for trimming strips for an exact fit. Although you can cut flooring with a miter box and a handsaw, not shown, it'll be a long day, or days most likely, if you don't own a power miter saw or chop saw, E. Consider renting one or borrowing one from a friend. Likewise, you can install flooring without renting a flooring nailer, F, a nifty device that drives nails in at the perfect angle, but it's much faster and easier with one. See Chapter 6 for more on installing hardwood flooring. Laminate flooring. Many of the tools used for installing hardwood strip flooring are also used to install laminate or floating flooring. A miter box and hand saw, item A, or a power miter box is used to make straight cuts. A saber saw, shown on page 17, is best for cutting curves to get around obstacles. A claw hammer or rubber mallet is for snugging up the joints between boards, and a pry bar, B, right there, is for persuading stubborn boards. Tools designed specifically for installing laminate flooring are strap installation clamps, C, for straightening the first couple or starter rows of flooring; a special S-shaped bar for tightening in joints, D; a custom-shaped tapping block, E, that fits over the edge of the flooring so you can drive the boards tight together; and spacers, F, to set the correct gap between the flooring and adjacent walls. Note, most home centers that sell laminate flooring can also rent you an installation kit. Renting such a kit is definitely the way to go, as a single installation strap clamp costs around $50, and you'll need at least a half dozen. Resilient flooring. One of the things I like best about resilient flooring is that it hardly requires any specialized tools to install it. As a matter of fact, unless you're planning on a full adhesive installation, you most likely have all the tools you need on hand in your toolbox. You'll need a staple gun, A, to attach the flooring to the underlayment or subfloor around its perimeter, a putty knife, B, for prying out an errant staple and for general all-around cleaning or scraping off bits of old flooring, a utility knife, C, for cutting tile, a metal straight edge, D, for guiding the utility knife on long cuts, and a small notched knife, E, or trowel for applying adhesive around obstacles, near thresholds, and at the seam if necessary. If you are planning on a full adhesive installation, you'll want to rent a flooring roller, item F. A 75 or 100-pound roller rents for less than $20 a day in most areas. A flooring roller presses the boards firmly into the adhesive to ensure a good bond. Tile, vinyl and parquet tiles. Installation of vinyl tiles basically requires the same tools used to install resilient flooring shown above. Here again, a flooring roller, A, is a must to ensure a good bond. For repair work, a small scraper, B, comes in handy to remove old flooring, along with a notched trowel, C, to apply new adhesive, and a rolling pin, D, or a rubber mallet, E, to bed the new tile firmly in place. Removing tiles that have been glued to the subfloor is hard work. A special floor scraper, F, available at larger home centers, can make the job go a lot quicker. The sharp front edge of the tool is forced under the tile, and a hard push will often pop up a tile or a portion of a tile. The installation of wood parquet tiles uses some of the tools necessary for installing hardwood strip flooring, shown on page 19. In particular, a miter box and hand saw or a power miter saw, and a saber saw for curved cuts around obstacles. And just as with any vinyl tiles, you'll need a flooring roller to bed the tiles in the adhesive. Materials. This goes into materials. Carpet. Choosing carpet for your home can be a real challenge. In addition to the wide variety of colors and patterns, it's important to know about the different types available. The four most common types found in homes are cushion-backed carpet, where the carpet has a foam backing bonded to it; loop pile carpet, which provides a textured look resulting from the uncut loops of yarn; plush carpet, where the pile is trimmed at a bevel to give it a speckled appearance; and velvet cut pile carpet, which offers the densest pile of all the carpet types. Ceramic tile. Ceramic tile is the hardest of all flooring types and is very durable. It's also one of the most expensive and time-consuming to install. Ceramic tiles are all made from molded clay and may be smooth or rough textured. For flooring, I recommend a textured tile that provides a sound footing. Square floor tiles vary in size from 6 inches to 12 inches. Other shaped tiles such as rectangles, hexagons, and octagons are also available. Mosaic tiles typically come in 1-inch and 2-inch squares and are sold in 12-inch square sheets, where smaller individual squares are held together with plastic webbing to make installation easier. A word about adhesives. Once you've selected a flooring material, it's very important to match the correct adhesive to the flooring. Flooring adhesive is not all the same. As a matter of fact, the warranties on most flooring manufacturers' products will be invalid if you don't use the adhesive they recommend. Read the flooring installation instructions carefully to match the adhesive to the flooring, and make sure to apply it with the specified tool, usually a specific sized notched trowel. Also, if you have to join pieces of flooring, it's essential that you use what the manufacturer recommends to splice the pieces together. This is particularly important with resilient sheet vinyl. Not only must you use the recommended adhesive under the seam, but you also need to use the correct seam sealer. Most major resilient flooring manufacturers sell sealers specifically for their product. If you can't find what you need at the local home center, contact a flooring supplier or contractor. If they don't have it in stock, they'll be happy to order it for you. Hardwood. Hardwood strip flooring is available in a variety of woods, widths, and grades. The wood for most flooring is red oak, but you can often purchase other types from a flooring dealer or contractor. Hard maple, beech, birch, ash, sycamore, even pine flooring are some of the more common types. Most strip flooring is 3/4 of an inch thick and can be bought in 1.5, 1 3/4, or 2 1/4, the most common, and 2 3/4 inch widths. Strip flooring is manufactured with tongues and grooves along its edges and ends. Hardwood flooring grades can get confusing. Contact a hardwood flooring contractor for more information. Laminate. When most folks think of laminate flooring, they envision boards or panels that imitate hardwood strip flooring, like the samples shown here. But laminate flooring is available in a wide variety of colors, patterns, and textures. In fact, you can find laminate flooring that mimics almost every other flooring type except carpet. Once you've decided on a style, be wary of inexpensive imitations that look good but won't last long. The primary difference between cheap and quality laminate flooring is the thickness of the top laminate. Quality flooring from a reputable dealer or contractor will have a thick top laminate that will hold up better over the years. Parquet. Wood parquet tiles are made by bonding together strips of wood, typically with glue and a corrugated metal strap embedded in the back of each strip. A variety of patterns are available, but the one shown here is the most common. You can purchase parquet tiles natural or pre-finished in a wide selection of colors. Most parquet tiles are 5/16 of an inch thick, with the edges tongue and grooved so they'll slip together easily during installation. Beware of cheap parquet tiles made of low-grade, softer woods. Stick with a hardwood like oak that will stand up better to the abuse that a floor gets. Resilient. Regardless of the color, pattern, or texture, all resilient sheet vinyl is one of two types, full spread or perimeter bond. Full spread flooring has a felt paper backing and is designed for the entire surface to be glued to the subfloor or underlayment with flooring adhesive. Perimeter bond flooring has a smooth white PVC backing that is secured to the floor only at the perimeter with staples. Because it has no backing, perimeter bond flooring has some give and take, so it can be stretched slightly during installation. Vinyl tile. Vinyl tiles can be purchased with either self-adhesive or dry backs. Self-adhesive tiles have a wax paper backing that's peeled off, and the tile is simply pressed onto the floor. Dry-backed tiles require adhesive and a flooring roller to achieve a solid bond. Both types of tile are most commonly found in 12-inch squares. Higher quality tiles will be thicker than less expensive versions. Stick with a brand name you can trust or ask a flooring dealer or contractor for a recommendation. Here we have a chart on the ease of installation and tools required. For carpet, it is moderate to difficult to install. The tools required are staple gun, utility knife, row running knife, edge trimmer, knee kicker, power stretcher, and a steaming iron if necessary. Ceramic tile is difficult to install. You will need a tile cutter or motorized tile cutter, rod saw or tile nipper, mixing attachment for your electric drill, notched trowel, grout float, sponge, grout saw, and a rubber mallet. For hardwood, it is difficult to install. You will need a miter box or power miter saw, flooring nailer, wood chisels, claw hammer, and a nail set. Laminate is moderate. You will need a miter box and hand saw or a power miter box, saber saw, rubber mallet, pry bar, installation clamps, S-shaped bar for tightening in joints, tapping block, and spacers. Parquet is easy to moderate. You will need a flooring roller, small notched knife or trowel, a chalk line, a miter box or hand saw or power miter box, and a saber saw. Resilient is moderate. You will need a staple gun, putty knife, utility knife, metal straight edge, small notched knife or trowel, or for full adhesive installations, you will need a flooring roller. And vinyl is easy to moderate. You will need a flooring roller, small notched knife or trowel, a chalk line, utility knife, and a metal straight edge. And here we have some information on floor preparation. Laying new flooring in your home is similar in many ways to painting a room. The actual amount of time you spend painting can often be small in comparison to the time you spend preparing the room for the paint. Masking, drop cloths, removing doors, electrical switch plates. This is the same with most new flooring. The time devoted to laying the new covering can be short compared to preparation time, with the exception of ceramic tile, where you often have to wait days between steps. The amount of time that you'll need to spend preparing your floor for the new covering will depend on what type of shape the old floor is in and the type of new flooring you're installing. If the old floor covering is firmly attached to the underlayment and/or subfloor, you may be able to lay the new covering directly over it with a minimum of work, such as laying carpeting over an existing hardwood floor. For old flooring that's loose in only a couple of areas, you might be able to get by with just removing the loose sections and leveling the floor. Other situations can require removing the old underlayment, repairing the subfloor, or adding a new layer of underlayment over the existing floor, as when adding cement board in preparation for laying down ceramic tile. In this chapter, I'll start with how to remove the base molding from a room and why it may or may not be necessary, and then move on to how to remove each of the different types of flooring: carpet, ceramic tile, resilient flooring, and vinyl or parquet tile. Included in each section are the tools you'll need, along with plenty of tips on how to get the job done as quickly and efficiently as possible. If more extensive work is needed, there's information on how to remove underlayment, how to level a subfloor, and how to install new plywood underlayment. Finally, there's a section that describes how to lay cement underlayment, also known as cement board, the best foundation for ceramic tile. This section deals with removing base molding. In many cases, the very first thing you'll need to do to prepare a room for new flooring is to remove the base molding from around the perimeter of the room and around any cabinets or built-ins, such as a kitchen island. Not all installations will require this, however. For example, if you're replacing old carpeting with new carpeting, the base moldings, typically baseboards, can remain in place. But on many other installations, such as ceramic tile, resilient sheet flooring, and hardwood flooring, the base molding needs to go. How you remove molding will depend on the type, wood, tile, or vinyl, and whether or not you're planning on reusing any of it. Regardless of whether you're going to reuse it, you'll want to take steps to prevent damage to your walls. This is easy to accomplish with the judicious placement of a wide blade putty knife. See below for both techniques. Demolition. For situations where you know you won't be reusing the old base molding, it's pretty beat up or it just won't work with the new flooring, you can remove it quickly with a pry bar. The thing to watch out for is damage to the wall. You can prevent this by slipping a wide blade putty knife between the molding and the wall. Then you can pry without worry. For cove base molding, loosen a corner with a putty knife and then pull. If the wall is painted, it's a good idea to run the putty knife along the top edge of the molding first to break the paint bond. Salvage. If you're planning on salvaging the base molding, it's best to remove it with 2 putty knives as shown. Slip one against the wall and insert a stiff blade putty knife between it and the molding. Now gently pry the molding away from the wall. This takes a bit longer, but it will prevent damage to the molding. On wood baseboards, don't pound the nails out through the face of the molding. Instead, pull them out from behind with a pair of locking pliers. And this section deals with removing carpet. Number 1, cut around thresholds. Removing old carpeting is fairly straightforward. Start by cutting through the carpet near the door thresholds where the carpet is attached. Depending on the thickness of the carpet and the sharpness of your utility knife, you may be able to cut through both the carpet and the pad at one time. If not, you can always go back after the carpet has been removed and cut and roll the pad. This is also the time to remove any old metal thresholds with a pry bar. Number 2, cut and roll carpet and pad. Next, cut the carpet into strips that will be easy to roll up. I've found that 3-foot strips work best. After cutting the carpet into strips, roll them up and set them aside for disposal. If you cut through both carpet and pad, you may be able to roll them up together. If not, pull up the pad and roll it separately. Most carpet padding is stapled down. Just give it a good yank and it'll pull right up. Note, if you're removing cushion-backed carpet that was glued down, you'll need to remove the adhesive residue with a floor scraper. Number 3, remove tackless strips. If you're planning on laying new carpet, inspect the tackless strips to see whether they can be reused. The points need to be sharp and angled toward the wall. Replace any worn-out sections with fresh strips. If the tackless strips are in bad shape or you're not reinstalling carpet, work around the perimeter of the room, removing the strips with a pry bar and a hammer. Finally, use a putty knife to pry up and lift out any staples remaining from the carpet padding. Right here. Next, we have removing ceramic tile. Number 1, break up tiles. Removing ceramic tile is a messy and labor-intensive job. If the tile has been in place for a long time, odds are the adhesive that bonds the tile to the underlayment won't want to release. The best way I've found to remove ceramic tiles is to first break them up into small pieces with a maul or sledgehammer. Make sure to wear eye protection and gloves when you do this. Also, it's a good idea to cover door openings to prevent flying shards of tile from escaping the room. Number 2, scrape away residue. After you've broken the tiles into smaller pieces, use a floor scraper to free them. Hold the scraper at a low angle to the floor to prevent the sharp blade from digging into the underlayment. Stubborn tiles may need to be persuaded with a maul and a wide blade masonry chisel. If you're not planning on reusing the underlayment, you may be better off cutting through the tile and underlayment with a masonry blade in a circular saw and then prying up sections as shown on page 30. Number 3, use a belt sander if necessary. If you plan to reuse the underlayment, You'll likely have adhesive residue left on it after scraping. A belt sander with a very coarse belt, 30 to 60 grit, can be used to grind away the adhesive. Here again, wear eye protection. Since small particles of adhesive, tile, and underlayment will become airborne, you should also wear a dust mask during sanding and when sweeping or vacuuming up the dust. That is just a little information on flooring, different types of flooring, and the tools you will need, and how to remove some of the old stuff before you start. Thank you so much for coming to listen to this.